Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. Today I'll be talking about all of the tattoos that I wanted to get but I didn't end up getting. I actually got this video idea from Morgan Joyce. I used to love watching her videos. She's one of the OG tattoo piercing related channels here on YouTube. This is one of the videos that I really enjoyed seeing from her, which is tattoos that she wanted to get but didn't end up getting and kind of why. It's kind of interesting to see people's thought processes as they age and ideas they have, and whether or not they're happy that they have it or not, because I know there are plenty of things on my list where I'm really grateful that I didn't end up going through it. I could pass me on the back for some of these, for not getting some of these, but I just think it's really interesting to understand what are some of the pieces that somebody might have had and if they regret that decision or not. These aren't in any order. It's not like the first, but the first one I'm going to talk about is I wanted to start my sleeve, and this is my left arm. I have a whole video up on my channel. I'll link it here down below or in the eye, just so if you wanted to check that out. But it was my first idea that I had for actually starting my arm. So if you watched that video, you would know that my first piece on my arm was my wolf. That was what I started with, but initially that wasn't what I wanted to start my arm with. I had initially, before finding my artist, reached out to Ryan Ashley Malarkey, who was the ink master. I was still in high school at this time, so I want to say I was about 17 years old. And I reached out before she was on ink master, and I wanted her to do my first large piece on my arm. I wanted roses with draping pearls, and I wanted 5 of them, I think I said. That never went anywhere because I really couldn't drive all the way out to Pennsylvania, which is where she was tattooing out of at the time. And I was still really young, so I did not have the ability to go. And I don't think after I even emailed them, I think I immediately emailed them right after saying that I wouldn't be able to go or something, because we never had any more communication after. But that was the first idea that I had, and that was the initial design idea that I brought to the artist that I did go to, who went on to finish my entire arm, Ernesto Nave. Again, I have a whole video about him, even recently moving down onto my hand. He's done my whole arm, and I went to him with that exact same idea initially. I wanted roses and pearls and stuff. And it wasn't until after months of waiting, because his process was that you book your tattoo, and my tattoo was almost a full calendar year away, and in that year I changed my mind and I decided I wanted a wolf. So I am so grateful for that. Having my wolf is such a huge part of my arm and was such a huge important thing to me, so deciding to do that instead of the roses was and I'm so much happier with the top of my arm, because I wanted it on the top and have a half sleeve versus starting on the bottom. I didn't really want to start on the bottom. It ended up going that way with the wolf, and again, I'm so happy it ended up the way it did, because I love my arm now, and I am just really grateful I don't have roses up on the top, just because I just like the composition of it, and I'm just happy with the way it came out. So very happy that that one didn't get to go through. I'm not sure if that did anything, but I totally forgot to turn my heater off initially, and now it's much quieter in here. So hopefully the audio is a little better. So sorry if you heard the heater in the previous kind of clips, but we're here now. The next tattoo that I wanted but ended up not getting, and I feel like this is something a lot of people can agree with me on, and that is just the general topic of script. I feel like there are so many script ideas that I had in my mind when I was in high school. I got my very first script tattoo when I was 18, literally the week I turned 18. That was my first legal tattoo. Yeah, the first one was legal as well. I wasn't of legal age. I was 17 when I got my first tattoo, and I got it because my mom came and signed for me, but this was my first tattoo the week that I turned 18. I went and I got script on the side of my side, on my ribs, and it says it's better to burn out than to fade away, which is a Neil Young lyric. And I just was like, I have all these other script ideas, and one of those was the word limitless. There's a song that I like that's called Limitless, and it talks about just wanting to challenge yourself, and it says I refuse to just exist and stuff like that. I don't know, really sappy stuff that you think about when you're in high school. But I love the concept of being limitless and not setting limits for yourself and always just trying to be better. I love the concept. Whatever, wanted to get it tattooed, and the placement that I wanted, I'm so grateful I didn't get this tattoo. I either wanted it on this side, the side of my arm, going onto my hand, or on this one. And as you can see, there is tattoo there. And I'm so grateful, patting myself on the back, that I didn't go and get that tattooed, because I feel like it would just mess up anything else I wanted to get there. And yeah, you don't think about those things when you are kind of in the moment, or you're just getting tattooed or just getting all these nice ideas. You might not be thinking about the future and what you might want to put there and like the bigger picture. You're kind of just thinking about these smaller pieces. And I can definitely tell you the first 3 tattoos I got, I don't really like them. Not that I don't like them, but like I look back and I think, wow, if I could go back and know what I know now, I wouldn't have gotten those because they're in the way of bigger pieces, and now I have to go through tattoo removal to get them covered. So hopefully that makes sense. But Limitless on my hand was Limitless on my hand was one of the ones that I wanted to get, and I didn't, just because there's not really a real reason why I didn't get it, aside from I just never really had the time. And I also don't think I could figure out which hand I wanted it on. I didn't really have anything like set in stone, but it was just the plan. I never went through with the plan, and I'm grateful that I didn't go through with that plan. I don't know why I'm talking so fast. I think it's because I listen to my YouTube videos on 1.75 speed. Is anybody else crazy like that, or is it just me? Because, well, I know it's not me, because I didn't actually initially have this idea. My roommate in college was listening to her videos that fast, and it sounds crazy when somebody else is doing it. Literally sounds like gibberish, and you're like, what are you listening to? And my roommate explained to me, like, if you have it on that and you're actually paying attention to it, you'll catch like every single word, you won't miss it. And it makes you be able to watch videos so much faster, and you don't have to like waste as much time just sitting and watching. So basically everybody talks like James Charles because I watch it so fast, but she was right. Like, you literally will catch every single word. I get through videos so much faster. I get to absorb more content, which, I mean, do I really need that? Honestly, no, but like I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts and stuff, so it's nice to be able to listen to more cases because I'm interested in this stuff. But that's a little disclaimer. I feel like that's why sometimes I'll start to talk really fast and I have to remind myself to slow down. I still kind of potentially want this. I'm not sure. My Chemical Romance is one of the most important bands in my whole life. I have 2 CDs from my childhood that are like, those are the CDs that were in my CD player at all times. Like, it was either one or the other, and it was Avril Lavigne, Let Go, and then My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade. I stole that CD from my brother. It was the first CD I straight up stole from him, and it's just like really special to me because my brother's no longer here, and it just reminds me of him and just my childhood. Like, that whole album was my childhood, and I knew the tracks by the number, and it was that sort of thing. So My Chemical Romance is a huge part of my life, and I'm gonna go see them soon. I can't wait. They're coming to Boston. It was rescheduled after the pandemic, and I'll see them this year in 2022. I cannot wait. I don't know why this particular lyric just makes me so happy. It's awake and unafraid, asleep or dead. So I wanted to get awake and unafraid on like the side of my foot. That's like the weirdest way to show you, but like on the sides of my feet, I want awake and unafraid, and then on the other, I would want asleep or dead. So this is an idea where I'm still on the fence of whether I want it or not. I don't know if it'll look silly written out just that way. I'm trying to picture how it'll look when I'm standing and like walking around. But I don't think I'm gonna get anything like that would interfere with it. So I don't know, I might get that one still. I'm on the fence about it. Oh my gosh, I have another script. I thought it was just the 2, but no, I wanted one more script. And again, I am so grateful I didn't end up getting this, because this would really get in the way of what I want to do and the plans that I have. But this was probably like, I want to say I was like 21 when I had this idea. I mean, obviously I love wolves, and I took it a step further and wanted to get the script Lone Wolf just on the back of my thighs, because I'm always just a very independent person. I like doing things by myself. I don't feel like I have to like go out and do stuff all the time. Like, I like being home and just chilling, and I don't know, that's kind of how I see myself. So I wanted the words Lone Wolf on the back of my thighs, and I'm really happy I didn't, because I do have plans to get my right leg completely tattooed at some point. I have my left arm, and I definitely wanted my right leg. I do have plans for my right arm as well, but I don't know when that's gonna start. But I've always known I wanted left arm, right leg. I like that kind of like asymmetry. I don't think that would look particularly nice, in my opinion, on my body. So I'm really happy that I didn't end up doing that. This is another one that was very early on. So this was around the time that, actually this was before I got my wolf. I think this was before I got my wolf tattoo. When I was brainstorming my first like big idea for a piece, I was considering doing like a girl holding like a camera, because I really love photography. And initially when I was gonna go to school, when I was going to like college and stuff, I was a art major, and I was gonna be a photo like concentration, because I really liked photography. I didn't really want any other job at the time. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I went into photography, and I really enjoyed it. But I'm happy I don't have that one because I don't know, I like photography still, but it's not the career path that I ended up taking, and I don't know, the imagery I don't think resonates with me anymore as much as it used to. That's a funny thing about like these tattoos that I am talking about that I didn't get. It's interesting because I will make a point of going and getting something when it's like actually worth it to me. Like when I know I want something, I'll go and do it. And there's not many tattoos that I have like in my adult life, and by adult life, I mean like 21 probably. Like once I've passed that 18-year-old really excited to get tattoos, I don't regret any of the tattoos that I've gotten that were the bigger pieces because I've put a lot of thought into them and I just really like them and I went out of my way to get them. These ones that were kind of just like passing thoughts, those are the ones where if I did go and get them impulsively and didn't actually think about it, then I think I would have regretted it, because here I am sitting here and I'm like, I'm really grateful that I didn't get that. So I don't know, just a little food for thought. But the next one I'm going to talk about is just like a modification of something that I wanted for my tattoo. So for my wolf, I will insert a picture because it's really hard for me to show my arm this way, but I have a wolf tattoo, and initially when I was going to get it done, I was playing around with photo editing apps trying to edit the eyes blue. I thought it might have been interesting to just have that one pop of color. Happy I didn't do that as well because I just like all the black and gray. I think that looks just fine. And I initially also in the wolf was thinking of maybe having like a girl, like the side of her face to like represent me, and like me being part wolf, whatever. I don't know. This is before I got this tattoo, just kind of in the planning stages. I wanted the girl and the wolf with the blue eyes. So happy that I didn't get that.
Oh my gosh, guys, I am literally so embarrassed. I actually found the initial, not drawing, this is just like a photo collage that I put together of what I was kind of envisioning. And this was all the way back from 2015 when I first had the idea. So yeah, safe to say I'm happy that I didn't get this. I'm much happier with the piece that I actually have, but I just wanted to show you guys because I found this in my camera roll and I think it's hysterical.
Another one, this is another little random one. It's the dots on your fingers. I've always kind of wanted those little dots that everybody has. Even Morgan Joyce has those. Speaking of which, because I was just talking about her. But a lot of people have had like dots on their fingers, and I think it looks really cute. I like the simplicity of it. I like that there's something there, but it's nothing crazy. And I would have liked the idea of like maybe playing around with a couple more dots on certain fingers. I don't know, some variation of that, but I'm pretty happy that I don't have that now because I like the fact that my hands are like the moons, and now I have this, so this takes up a lot of space. I don't really feel like I need to have dots on my fingers. I just kind of like the way that it looks with just the moon. I don't know. So that was something I was considering getting because it seems really like easy to just get little dots. And it would be like an excuse to go get tattooed. I think a lot of these ideas come up when I'm like itching to get a new tattoo. But yeah, I'm grateful I didn't end up going through with it because I like the way that my hands look as they do. Another one I was going to get, or at least I was toying around with the idea of getting, was a lantern on my finger. So I'll try to insert a picture if I could find it, but I did draw it on my finger with a pen, and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. I should totally get this. It just like looks edgy and cool. And this was, I believe, before I got my moons. So I think I had nothing on my hands. I'm glad I didn't get it. I like the moons a lot, and I don't think I would have done the moons if I had a lantern, if that makes sense. So very happy for this decision, but that was something that I was considering in the moment. Oh my God, this one is so stupid. So when I was still in high school, there was this place in Connecticut. I'm trying to like figure out the timeline now. There was a place in Connecticut and it was called Holiday Hill. If you're from Connecticut, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because they would bring us there for field trips and just like end of the year trips and stuff like that all the time. And it was so fun. There'd be free food all day. There'd be games all day. There's a pool. There's like tennis courts, and like there's so much there. I think they also have like video games. I remember there's a lot there for kids to do just to like have fun. It's like a reward thing. So I remember one time they had a tent set up and they had like spray on tattoos, and they had one that was a star. It was like a crescent moon and then a star. And I thought it was so cute, and I was like, I really want to get that. And then literally it was one day I was just in school, literally I was a senior, and I thought to myself, I want to go get tattooed today because you know what, I can, because I'm 18. And I feel like that's the mentality that gets people a lot of terrible tattoos, honestly. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I look back at myself and I'm like kicking myself for this, because just because I could didn't mean I should. So I wanted to get a tattoo that day and I didn't know what I wanted at the time yet. So I went after school and it was between a palm tree and this exact sun and star. And I don't know what made me go for the palm tree, but I went for the palm tree. I almost wish this is one where I'm like, ugh, if I was gonna get one of them, I at least should have gotten the freaking star and moon, not a palm tree. My palm tree looks terrible. It's all lumpy and oh my gosh, no shame to this tattoo artist. This is a different one who did my other stuff. This is a random, I think he might have even still been like an apprentice or something, because it was somebody that I hadn't seen at the shop. But I remember I said I wanted a palm tree and he asked if he could get my phone, and I saw him tracing my phone, this picture of like this very simple palm tree, and it came out really lumpy, bumpy, like it's just like not nice. It's blown out a little. Here it is. Oops, there it is. Can you see it? That is the tattoo right there in all of its glory. I'll insert a picture if I can because it might be hard to see, but it is blown out a little bit and it's just lumpy and I don't know. The top part is like very straight out. It doesn't even curve. And then the bottom right also is just like straight down and there's no curve. It's just a really bizarre tattoo and I don't like it very much. It's not terrible. I've actually gotten a lot of compliments on it when I worked at Victoria's Secret when I was in high school. A lot of people liked it because it was a palm tree and they thought it was cute, but I can't stand it. It's just this blob. My sister did go ahead and get a matching tattoo of this. So I think it's gonna be a little awkward when I tell her I'm going to cover it up, but I gotta get rid of this. But yeah, the one that I was gonna potentially get that I did not end up getting was the moon and the star. And yeah, I think this is the only one on the list where I'm like, ugh, if I was gonna get one, I probably should have gotten that one. But honestly, I wish I got neither. I just shouldn't have gone in the first place. I had no reason to be going to the tattoo shop. But I have 2 more left. One of them is I was going to, when doing my back, I was going to get a bee on the back of my neck to be incorporated in with the rest of it. I don't know, there was something special about the bee on the neck that was really special to me. And I wanted a bee because my name in Greek means honeybee. Melissa is my name and it means honeybee in Greek. And yeah, I just have like fun memories when it comes to bumblebees. So I wanted a bee to represent like my name, and also because bees are kind of cool and they look nice, especially with imagery and tattoos. So I wanted like a bee, and it ended up just not working out with actually showing, what's the word I'm looking for? Like making it make sense, because I don't think I've ever talked about my back piece on my channel, like the content of it, but it's a death's head moth. And I expressed I didn't really want it to look like a shadow box, but my artist was kind of explaining with putting them the way that we were, it would look like a shadow box. It would literally look like the bee and then the death's head moth, like right next to each other, like it would if it was in a shadow box. So I really didn't like that. He didn't really either. I mean, he could like tilt the other one and make it look a little different and have a different perspective. But at the end of the day, it just made sense to take that out of the design element. And I am planning on getting a bee tattoo, but just on my arm and not the back of my neck. But that's one thing that I wanted to get but didn't end up getting because it didn't end up working out with the rest of my back. So the final tattoo that I wanted to get but I didn't end up getting was actually one that I would probably be happy if I got it. Probably not in the same spot that I wanted it in originally, but I would like to get it probably somewhere else in the future. This was back right before we moved to Salem, like literally right before we moved. I had reached out to Angelo Parente. So if you guys are in the tattoo world, I'm sure you've seen at least one of his pieces shared on a tattoo page at one point of another. He does really insane, like incredible high contrast, bold, beautiful pieces where it's usually darker imagery, but sometimes he'll pop color in there. Oh, his style is just to die for. And I really wanted to get tattooed by him because another one of my favorite bands ever is Motionless in White, and he actually used to be a member of the band. So I wanted a Motionless in White tattoo done by him, because what better person to do it than somebody who is in the band and who has all this talent. So he's tattooing out of Pennsylvania, that's where he lives. And I wanted to make the trip down there, and we actually had been corresponding about the idea. He approved my idea. What I had wanted was a tarot card. For those of you who might have seen his work, you know he does a lot of like tarot cards and stuff like that. And I wanted a tarot card, and I wanted the imagery to be like 2 skeletons with one another, maybe like doing a pinky promise, or just two skeletons together, and then I wanted the text to say eternally yours, which is a Motionless in White song. So yeah, I did want to get this done by him, and I actually reached out just to understand what his booking process was like for the future, because I wanted to go, but it wasn't a good time at that moment. We were about to like move to Salem and stuff. I just wanted to understand kind of his booking process, and I ran the idea by him to see if it would be something he would even want to do. And he actually responded back and said, yeah, that sounds really cool. I could work with that. Let's do it. So yeah, the last that I said was how we were moving, but maybe I'll like reach back out and see what his schedule looked like in the future. And he said, yeah, that's fine, whatever. And I never reached out again after we got up here, and my priorities kind of shifted, and I have a lot more expenses than I used to have, so that did kind of take a bit of a back burner. I would still love to get a Motionless in White tattoo. It's another really important band to me. I love them so much. I've seen them, I think, like 6 times. I love them. So I would love to get a Motionless tattoo. If I could get it done by Angelo too, like that would be my preference. But yeah, who knows? That's just something that I think would be really cool. And that is essentially all of the tattoos I think I've ever wanted that I didn't get. I could be forgetting about something that popped into my head, but these are like the main ones that I could remember. And like I said, it seems like the majority of them are ones that I am actually pretty grateful I didn't get. And I think this is a really good opportunity to just say that if you want a tattoo and you just thought about it, maybe sit on it a little bit and see if in a few weeks to months to years down the road, even if it's something that you're still interested in, then go for it. I mean, do whatever you want in general, because we all have our own free will, but just as like a tip from somebody who has learned from mistakes in the past, just keep that in mind if you're somebody who wants to just jump on impulsive things like I sometimes am. I like to do things right away, but I have found in particular when it comes to tattooing and getting tattoos, it definitely just works out better in the long run when you sit on it and you really feel if it is right for you and really contemplate getting it, how you would feel if it was on your body. Think about plans in the future. If you want me to make a video all about how to get tattoos that you won't end up regretting, I could definitely do that, because I have some tips that I do for myself that I could definitely share. But keep that in mind when you are just trying to jump ahead and get a new tattoo. But that is it for today's video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.